I am such a dork. Hello, everybody. I think we live. Hold on, let me see. Let's
We
check and see.
are.
We are.
We stay
We
live up in that
are
corner. In that upper
live.
corner.
Woo!
Let me try to
How
share
y'all
it while we
doing?
live.
We are. Yeah. Any echo? Let me make sure we don't have an echo. We had a bad echo a minute ago, so we wanted to start over. How y'all doing? Yeah, we are live. Let me bring Trina back up. Let me make sure we don't have an echo. We had a bad echo a minute ago, so we wanted to start over. Yeah, so don't watch the other one.
You live on Facebook, guys?
Say it again.
You live on Facebook?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
live on Facebook. Also YouTube. So if you are watching, please state your name. Let us know what city and state you represent. And we are dabbling to the most talked about topic of the week, which is Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. Everybody saw it. Even my son, who never texts me about this kind of stuff, text messaged me about it. What's your thoughts on it? Let's dive in.
If they don't know Will, they know him now.
From Westfield, Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yes.
Listen, I was
Well,
sitting here thinking like, y'all forgot that Will trained for that movie Ali. So even if he grew up a punk in Philly, he he got some power behind it. We heard that smack. That was the smack heard around the world.
Like, it was so. At first, I thought that he was joking until he yelled, "Keep my f mom, keep my effing wife name in your mouth." So I
You
honestly
know what?
thought he was.
Did you watch it live?
I did not.
Okay, I didn't either. So I knew it wasn't a joke just because I saw the post first. But I still was in disbelief, like maybe something else is going on until, like you said, I heard him yelling, and I was like, I had Lupita Nyong'o.
Did you see what
She embodied what I think all of us were thinking and feeling.
I
Yeah,
watched
that
it
was.
live.
So it was fun. I saw what P. Diddy said afterwards, which was, we're gonna settle this like family and
Yeah.
all of that. So, do y'all think that he was wrong? Was Will wrong for smacking the dog shit out of Chris Rock?
On the most basic level, yes, because I don't think you should put your hands on anybody. But I at the same time, I can understand how somebody can be taken to that place. So while I don't agree that he should have done it for a variety of reasons, just on the most basic level, like I said, you shouldn't hit nobody. Two, because you're just destroying your brand. And Black people, we've worked so hard to get to a certain place that we really can't. Sadly, we can't afford to make the mistakes that other people can make. And it's going to, for a little while, I think we'll be able to bounce back from this, because thankfully we have the attention span of a squirrel right now as a collective people. But for a little while, they're not gonna put him in no comedies with kids, because even though he ain't assaulting kids, they're gonna feel like he's not a role model to children. I don't even think he could play an action role right now, because we don't
Well,
want
he
to
was
see Will
showing
hit.
kids how to do fake smacks. So, I mean, he clearly a role model. That video was surfacing.
Right, well, all the stuff that kids see, they better not condemn him for that.
Y'all
Kids
didn't
see
see the video of him
everything.
showing fake smacks surfacing around with kids?
The
No.
fakes,
I,
no, not
I
the
sent it
fake.
to the Instagram. It was kind of like the smack he did on Chris Brown, that fake smack.
You said Chris Brown.
I said Chris Brown, Chris Rock, Chris
Funny thing,
Rock.
when I actually
Well, maybe he's gonna smack Chris Brown next. I don't know.
when I was typing, I literally put Chris Brown.
For since
For real, I did. I think that again, I don't think that you should put your hands on anybody. Okay. But I also believe that he's human. Is it a delay when I talk?
I hear you, I think.
Okay. So let me not even focus on it. Let me just focus.
No,
Hopefully,
your lips are going with the words coming out of your mouth, so.
okay. As long as y'all can hear us, if anybody is watching, let us know that you can hear us, good sound and all that. Anyway, I do think that Will Smith was wrong for hitting him. But like Chris Rock would say, I understand. I don't know if y'all heard his skit or his bit. He talked about
What a perfect.
OJ killing Nicole and them. And I understand. And the reason why I understand is because how many people have gotten into fights off of yo mama jokes, right? Most people can't handle the type of criticism that celebrities and these people in the limelight literally have to take. Like, it's hard to hear these things over and over again constantly. And I feel like Will Smith didn't just smack Chris for saying a G.I. Jane joke. I think Chris Rock got smacked for all of the stuff that everyone has said, especially with the controversy with August, what's his name, Alsina, and him coming out. And that was embarrassing, I'm sure, for a man to have to endure, because he even said it. Usually it's the other way around, where the woman is standing beside her man and kind of like, man, I'm just going to stick beside him. That's my man, even though he cheated.
She did stick behind him while they cheated. That's why they got an open relationship. That's when
No, I
that
mean,
began.
right. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that normally when two couples are in a limelight and one is talking about infidelity or being with somebody else, it's very rare it's the woman.
Right.
And he actually made that point of actually saying that. And so I feel like, I feel like Will just snapped and smacked the shit out of him because of all the things that they've been saying about Jada. And he wanted to make that mark. And if you read his book, he has kind of not a childlike mind, but he's had a moment like this when he was young. I don't know if you remember
Were you
that.
thinking about when he said the girls burned her clothes up?
No, I was thinking about the time when he was bullied. In the beginning of the book, he was bullied, and not bullied, but he was new to the school, and remember the guy was like picking with him, and he kind of punched him in the face, but then later the boy came up to him with the brass knuckles and knocked him out.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, he kind of became a punk. So
right.
I felt like he kind of had like that moment of, I want to finally be the JDs or his name was JT, I think, in his life, the people who always protected him, he wanted to be that person for Jada.
Right. And also, because I know that was such a huge inner demon that he talked about a lot through that book, is that he already was dealing with that feeling of insecurity, even though he's not that man anymore. That's still like a real, childhood trauma, right?
Right.
And you entire internet basically challenging you as a man for a long time. And it's different than back in the day. People say something about you in the tabloids for a little while, but the internet make bullying a whole new level. This is why I have a lot of empathy for these kids in school, because it's not the same as it was when we was in school. And so I think that level of antagonizing, and Will, his entire career has taken the higher road. He literally don't come for nobody. He don't mess with nobody. He don't talk about nobody. He laughs everything off. And even when they talked about the laugh, it's debatable if that laugh was sincere to me, because if you watch Will, he laughs awkwardly when he's uncomfortable. He laughs off things that he doesn't actually think is funny, because that's his defense mechanism. He talked about the fact that his sense of humor was developed to avoid some of a lot of the things going on. So him laughing, to me, does not necessarily mean that he heard a joke is funny. As a matter of fact, if you continue to watch the show after the award, when Puffy comes up there and he talks about, we're gonna handle this like family. They pan to Will and he's laughing this most awkward, loud laugh. And that is not like even though he might found it a little funny, he didn't find it that funny. It is a painful laugh that he's trying to like deal with the energy, the space around him. So
I absolutely had that experience where you use laughter. I had to have a counselor tell me, that's not funny what you just told me. It was like, yeah, he just kicked me in the face. And she's like, that's not. And I definitely remember that part when Puffy says we're gonna do it like family, and he's like, and Jada's kind of like trying to console him, and everybody around him looking at him like
it was funny. It wasn't that funny,
right? Like, you bugging? Is he gonna smack me? But yeah, I really think that Will, and his head really was protecting his family, but I don't know. I think that was something more internal.
Yeah, I think it was more like, I feel like he was aware. I think anybody who's followed Jada on the Red Table Talk should know about the hair thing and why. When I saw her face, I immediately knew why that face was there. This wasn't because she can't take a joke. This was because that was an area that she's super sensitive about. Chris Rock, low key, should know a little bit better because he did a whole documentary about what Black women in their hair. But I also think that Chris Rock did not know, and he wasn't aware that I don't think that Chris Rock would have intentionally hurt Jada at all. So I felt like when Will saw that level of hurt, there was no way for Will to win. I don't know if you think this, but let's suppose Will didn't respond at all and he just sat there and laughed, I guarantee you that there would have been maybe not as much of an uproar for sure, but there would have been so many memes, so many people posting about how Will know that Jada got this insecurity. Everybody watched the Red Table Talk. No, and you just sit there. He's such a punk. Will was doomed. Period. The moment Chris had Jada name come out his mouth, he was doomed, and I feel like Will knew that he could not win in that situation, and he chose, unfortunately, the worst of the two actions.
See, I don't think that. I think if he would have not said anything, people would have forgot about that joke.
People want that. He's had the target on his back. I think people would have brought it up. They would have brought it up, especially because no matter what, Jada made a face. So because Jada made the face, somebody gonna be like, you Will over here laughing, Jada, blah, blah, blah. Somebody would have brought it up. And to Trina's point, the alopecia people sponsored the show, right? No matter what happened, the alopecia
people, I thought that was a shot.
No matter what Will's reaction would have been, the internet could have had a field day with it. So let's suppose Will didn't respond. People would have been talking about Jada's alopecia situation, how she didn't find that funny, how Chris was laughing. Chris Rock would have taken the L for this one. But the alopecia people would have still came up. Will respond, smacking the shit out of Chris. Nobody saw that coming. Either way, the alopecia coming up. So what I want to know is who fed Chris Rock the joke? That's what I want to know. Because either way, the alopecia people win.
That's really clever if they did. I feel like though,
well, let me say something. I feel Amy Schumer is the one who wrote the jokes. And again, now you have white people writing jokes for Black entertainment. So there's a huge question mark because now all the energy is going towards Chris Rock versus Amy Schumer. So people said, so my thing is, this is what I'm talking about. Black people want to be on these white people stages so much. So at the end, at the end of the day, this is what comes a part of it. If you've been to anybody who watched the Oscars, I don't know if y'all watch the Oscars yearly. I haven't watched it since the pandemic started, but I would watch the Oscars yearly. So for a fact you're getting cracked on. Period. That's a part of the entertainment of that show. Let alone, we have to remember, who is Chris Rock's audience? Predominantly white.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a lot of things that went over people's head. But in addition to the G.I. Jane thing, some people said the world brung it to alopecia because people knew about her alopecia, but everybody didn't know about Jada's alopecia. I know I didn't know about alopecia till yesterday. But at the end of the day, my thought just went out my head. Well, so with the G.I. Jane thing, they was bringing up alopecia. They said Chris Rock never brought up alopecia. The world did. But if you watch G.I. Jane, in that movie, Demi Moore left her husband for a younger guy. So people said nobody even automatically, she left her husband for a younger guy in that movie, allegedly. Something that was going on.
Left him for a younger guy in real life.
something that was going on. Maybe while she was filming the movie,
she left Bruce Willis.
The internet ain't shit.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there was something that was going on. I don't know if while she was filming G.I. Jane, maybe that's when she left her husband for another guy. But people said there was some digs that was going on with the G.I. Jane movie that correlated.
At G.I. Jane, at the time when G.I. Jane came out, she was with Bruce Willis still at that time. I think people are referring to her leaving Bruce Willis for Ashton Kutcher, but she didn't leave him for Ashton Kutcher. But I think during that time, if you remember when that movie came out, people were not as embracive of women with short hair, and people would use that to call her like dyke or to say like she wasn't feminine. Like, it was just so much of abuse that she was getting while her hair was short like that. And in fact, if you watch, they were talking about who sent the clip of Chris Rock. And Chris Rock, it was some movie. Is it Rush Hour 2? And the girl.
No, that's Chris Tucker.
Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Chris Tucker, with the girl with the short hair. Like, we don't have to go too far back where a woman with a completely shaved head was not treated the way she is now. Now she could be bald headed and sad, but a little while ago you had to have all the balls in the world to wear your hair bald as a woman. And so I think the idea that at that time,
I had a brush cut in the early 2000s, and I loved it. So I don't know. This stuff is just weird to me. It's bigger than this.
I think the idea that at that time referring to somebody by G.I. Jane was meant to be offensive. That people are making that correlation to.
You think so? Because people thought she was actually very gorgeous. It's just so many double standards.
She was gorgeous. I think she was gorgeous. I thought Demi was gorgeous then too. However,
exactly.
We talking about
Jada looked drop dead gorgeous last night with her brush cut. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying that we're referring to the mass population who believe women should always have long hair. They still think that. Men still think that. Even though now we've embraced more and more hair textures and hair lengths, there's still a great majority of men who feel like women should have long hair.
Well, the reason why I normally wear my hair long is when I feel big.
Because what?
If I feel big in statue, I wear my hair big to kind of make it even. Because I really got a little ass head. Like, you can see, my head is tiny.
I know what you're saying, Zai, because some women won't cut their hair while they're bigger. They like, I gotta lose weight to do that, or different. Like,
it's like a contrasting thing, right?
I'm just working forehead. Like, I feel like if you see right here, if I go like, it just ain't no way, y'all. Ain't no way I can pull off the Jada cut. Rihanna.
So, but Jim Carrey is speaking out on it today. Alec Baldwin, like, Will walked himself into a cancellation. He gonna cancel his own self because at the end of the day, I mean, Jada was not in grave danger where you had the hook off. Will could have lost his ever loving mind in the audience. Will could have lost his ever loving mind on the stage when he went up there. He could have ripped Chris Rock to shreds. Hence why I staged, because nobody typically is just going to do that over a joke. I'm sorry.
I think when he smacked him and sat down, if he didn't say anything else, it would have been,
He had to say something else. He was smiling when he walked off.
Will Smith just walking with a smile. I think the audience thought it was a joke.
Right. And that's how they would have took it. If he would have been thinking, and if he was like, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of him, they started laughing, and then he was like, don't be talking about my poor wife. And that's when they was like, oh shit. He's serious. That wasn't supposed to happen. But
meanwhile, Chris was like, oh, Richard, come on, Richard. Let me lean in for this paid slap. He leaned in, stood down.
What would y'all have done though? Would y'all have just addressed it later? What would y'all have done?
Anybody hitting me, I'm hitting you back on site in real life. So
I think anybody.
What would you have done if you was Chris and Will?
Nobody wants to mess up their bag.
I would have hooked off.
I wouldn't have put my bag in jeopardy. I would have tried not to put my bag in jeopardy.
Of course I would have. Of course.
So Betty,
I would have tried. You know me, financial coach B. I will have tried all my heart not to put my bag in jeopardy. I'm sorry. You're not gonna piss me off and mess up my money. Like, that's a double smack.
Oh, my bag not in jeopardy because I was actually assaulted. So it's actually self-defense at that point.
I'm talking about. Oh, you said with Chris Rock hit back.
Oh, Will Smith or Chris Rock.
I was talking about Will Smith. I wouldn't have done what Will Smith did. Is what I'm saying. As far
Yeah,
as
no,
Chris
me
Rock,
neither.
honestly, I probably would have hit back because I reflex. It wouldn't even be like I dead ass almost punched my boss in the face, and I'm talking about 2 inches from here, and that was only because we was in a haunted house together. I wasn't trying to swing at her. It was a scary person that jumped out, and it was just. I mean, when I tell you I stopped right here.
I literally did that over the weekend. We went through the haunted house, and this girl, the one that looked like the Purge, was like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Bitch!"
It's a reflex.
But do you understand why I feel? That's why I also feel at this stage nobody gonna get slapped silly and have a smile on their face after being slapped unless you was prepared. I was sitting. My worst
enemy. Prepare for that, Trina.
Zai. If you slap me today and we cool, we're cool.
In the face.
If you slap me in my face, I'm hooking back because there's no reason why you're slapping me for no reason.
Let me tell you, imagine you doing it in the face unexpectedly at the Max and Hubbard game when we were in high school, and I couldn't even process what happened. By the time I processed what happened, she was gone. She had already left. Me and her talked about it recently. Already gone from the building before I even processed what happened.
And she turned around like Will Smith.
It did not hurt. It did not hurt. But I was like, did I just get?
But she smacked you silly, clearly, because Chris Rock had enough time to get Will, and he sat there continuing to go through his skit.
You're doing a presentation, right? Yeah. And you are in presentation mode, and you see this guy coming up to you. You're not going to think he's going to smack you.
No.
Yes, I would. Because why are you walking on the stage?
It wasn't even a full-on back. He cocked from here.
Right. It was no.
Nah. At the end of the day, he knew what it was.
A lot of power for a short range. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. He was like, and then he was like,
yeah. But then Chris Rock, he was smacked silly, ain't know what to say, but he had enough time to say, "It's gonna go down in history." Man, get out of here.
No, he was stuttering when he got to that point.
Yeah, that after Will started yelling, you could see Chris couldn't even recover. The first time he was able to recover, but after Will started going in, Chris could not find his bearings.
Y'all know y'all talking about 2 actors though, right? That be in movies, right?
So we talk about 2 human beings too.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because everybody keeps saying, do you see his face? They're in movies. They're paid actors.
They're also human beings. They're also human beings.
Chris was very much.
And then the normal human being gonna hook off if they're attacked. I'm sorry. The average human being is gonna hook off, let alone a black man. A black man just gonna sit there. Forget a black man, any man. Just going to sit there because it's not just about race. That's what it's not about race. It's about any man is just going to sit there and say, "Oh, I just got slapped silly," and don't have enough time. Man, come on now. The best of friends will be jumping on each other and piecing it up just like they did, like Diddy said, but it was staged anyway. So of course they're going to piece it up because they paid.
So for me, I have been punched in the face by somebody off guard in high school.
Me too, and we fought.
We did fight, but it did make. I literally said, "Did she just punch me in the face?" And I was.
Me too.
And she was like, "Yeah, I did it." And I was like, "Oh,
Katrina, when I tell you she was out the building, when I tell you she was gone, I was like, "Who?" I had to ask someone. That's how quick she was gone. I had to actually ask, and we talked about it for the first time when I was up there in August, and I hadn't seen her in forever. And she was like, I said, I had my back to her. So what she did was she pulled one of those. You know how back in the day you tap somebody's shoulder to get them to look one way. She did the whole tap thing. So I looked and I turned into the fist. By the time I turned around, I was like, I don't know who hit me. They was like. I had to be told. I had to be informed. I definitely just
you had the little people walking around your head.
Do you know? And it wasn't slap. It was closed fist.
Yeah, her fist was closed. I saw literally stars.
And
And I
not
had to
only
gather
that,
myself. Like I had to gather myself and come to the realization that the reason why I feel this way is because she just punched me.
and I punched somebody and they did not hit me back. I punched them at a party when we was in 8th grade. I punched her dead in the face, blacked her eye, and she went home. She walked home from the party.
You so
She
crazy, buddy.
she eventually came to my house with her whole family to jump me.
Yeah, she left that party and went and got back up.
But that was the next day. No, that was the next day.
Yeah, she went and got back up.
So
My point was, in that moment, she did not hit me back. I stood there smaller than her. I was Chris Brown to Will Smith in that situation. I hit her once. I blacked her eye, and she walked home from the west
Y'all
end
want
to
it
the
to
east
be
end.
Chris Brown so bad. It's Chris Rock.
But who's been really talking about Chris Rock in forever? It's always about Chris Brown. So Chris Rock is not really our audience. I'm just being real.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking, white people got to be a little confused because white people love both Chris Rock and Will Smith. They got their 2 favorite black.
Yeah, but his predominant crowd is Chris Rock's predominant crowd is white people. Will
Smith.
Yeah, no, Chris.
Yes.
Tell me how many black people love Chris Rock.
Absolutely.
Betty, how many people love Chris Rock in the black community?
White people love Will Smith.
Okay, but that's what I'm just trying to say.
Actor, period,
Will Smith has both. Will Smith has both races. Chris Rock does not.
He do, but what I'm saying is white people love him. So white people love him, and white people love Chris Rock. I'm not saying that white people don't love Chris Rock, but they don't love Chris Rock more.
Well, but you gotta realize, white people, predominantly, Chris Rock has more people in his corner. Look who's sticking up for Chris Rock today. Jim Carrey, Alec Baldwin.
No, I don't think Chris Rock got more white people in his corner than Will Smith. Will Smith,
okay.
Chris Rock don't get paid Will Smith money. Will Smith get paid the money he make because white people love Will Smith.
Not true. His audience is predominantly white. The people that go see him are white people.
Will Smith
I'm not disagreeing. His audience is predominantly white. I'm saying that they still love Will Smith more.
I don't think so.
Even with his whole audience being mostly white.
Watch these white people cancel Will Smith. The same ones who love him.
They're not going to cancel him because they know his movie sell.
It doesn't matter. Will Smith is on his way to being canceled just by mistake, in a sense, and they're already talking about taking back his Oscar. And like I told you, it's not necessarily because the Oscars is pissed. It's not necessarily because Chris Rock is pissed. It's the court of public opinion. Public opinion is this new world that we live in. Public opinion weighs everything.
All right, so let's get to a different part of the topic. Do y'all think Will Smith is a simp?
I think a lot of
what is a simp? I'm sorry.
A lot of people do not
versed in that word.
His relationship, and so I think people are going to call him a simp because his relationship is unusual, and because we don't know Will's, we know Will out in these streets, but Will's business is not in the streets. We knew Will and Jada had an open relationship and assumed it was mostly Will Smith that was out in these streets. But now that we know for a fact it's Jada because her business is out there, it only looks like Jada, and so it looks like Will is just sitting here letting his girl cheat on him while he's doing nothing. That's not actually the case, but
meanwhile, when they said they go to whoever they bring, they go to different ends of the house. So they're both doing their own thing. They said that publicly. But what is a simp?
What is a simp? Is like a demasculated man or a man who lets.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought it could be.
It's the opposite of an alpha male.
Oh, okay.
I think from his book, he's really tried to do, like, I thought about, the girl that he dated for a long time, and he was loyal to her, and then she ended up cheating on him.
Melanie.
I thought about
who, his first baby mother?
No,
that's Therese.
It's the girlfriend he dated for a long time.
Okay.
For the baby mother, and he was famous, and he never cheated on her. And
never. He would black out on people.
Yeah, and that really broke him. But I think he'd always been trying to do the right thing because in relationships, and I think men in general who see men trying to be loyal, I think they refer to them as simps. I think the idea of a man being a stand-up man, sadly, they thought of as simps. Oh, you being loyal, you going home to your girl, you whooped. God forbid you actually value your wife. That's what people are calling simps these days, and that's disgusting. So by that definition, he'd be a simp. Yeah.
Well, that's terrible. I don't think. I think he's just a.
I don't agree, but that's what he would be based on that definition.
Yeah, I think he's just a monogamous man. He prefers to be with one woman. And we don't know all the details because even
You
when
think so? Because he's with other women.
Read his book.
I'm saying monogamous in the sense of whether you have an open relationship basically says two people are still in a relationship together, but they're allowed to be with other people under whatever agreement. But at the end of the day, they still with the person they with.
Yeah, I think he's loyal to his words.
Okay. I wouldn't call that monogamous, but okay.
No, I wouldn't call it monogamy either. I think whatever they agreed upon, Will is loyal to his word. So if that's their
arrangement, they don't sound like they have an open relationship.
If that's their arrangement, they don't violate that arrangement. There's a part in his book where he talks about them having a period of openness. So what I took away from his book is their relationship hasn't always been open, but they had a period where they were able to do whatever they wanted. And it seemed to be that was a period when they were having marital problems, not when they were in bliss. I don't know what they were doing before then, but he's always said Jada has been. She never wanted it. She always wanted something in the box. So I don't know what they was doing.
They keep comparing Tupac though. People keep saying all this stuff with Tupac. So
but Tupac is his own insecurity, and people know that that's his insecurity. He says it in the book. It wasn't that he was really that she ever did anything to make him feel that way. It's just that was her boy. He died, and remember in the book he talked about how he put his own. He would compare himself to Tupac and would be like, "But it's Tupac, and he's dead, and he still feels like it's Tupac." So that's just people taking his words, and
he even said he regretted never actually meeting him because he couldn't let his insecurity go during the time he was alive to be like, now he realizes it was so silly,
right?
You know? But at that time he regrets it because he never even allowed himself to meet him in real life.
Right.
So why did Jada and Tupac break up? Was there a reason?
Oh, they broke up. Like they grew up together in Baltimore.
They wasn't apparently in a relationship. They were just.
That's what I was thinking. So I'm just confused. Like, why is he so?
They never was
out with Will.
Will freaking Tupac wrote her a whole book of poetry. This was when he was California.
No, but I'm just saying it wasn't like they were still together. You know, I could see if it was like he died.
When you'll never have some part of somebody's heart, like when when somebody, and now because Tupac is dead, he felt like he can't even compete because how can you compete with somebody who's
a dead man?
Yeah. She's allowed to love him forever, and I think you know what I mean. You understand what that's like when with someone who you love passes away. You get to grieve them and retain a love that normally you're not allowed to have with an ex.
Yeah, I've been through that real life.
I know. That's why I was saying I was trying not to be too.
I mean, hey,
you know what I mean. Katrina.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. That's what I'm just. But to me, in my mind, I was just thinking like, okay, because I didn't know the full story. That's why I was wondering, like, did he die while they were together, or did because that's? But so they were friends, but
when they were like. When they were in Baltimore, they were in like the Performing Arts Center together when they were like 13, 14. Like, so
they grew up. They were like, basically their careers were taking off around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And she has never confirmed that they were ever even intimate. She says very much all the time.
That's what I thought. Okay. But there's something there. There was something.
Yeah. It's kind of like just a very platonic girl.
They probably never wanted to ruin their friendship, and it was probably a lingering thing where they loved each other, but they maybe never actually went
across the road. Yeah,
you just didn't want to go there.
Okay.
So Trina had shared something about Chris Rock's sales quadrupling. I think it tripled in a
all
day.
Sales, G.I. Jane sales tripling right now.
Everything, yeah, like everything going up.
I'm telling you right now, I will pull a Beyonce, Solange, and Jay-Z moment.
Come on, Betty.
project. Chris Rock better drop something. Will better drop something. Jada better drop something. Demi Moore. Demi, you better drop something because we know you ain't forever.
But everybody kept saying, "Oh my God, they did that in front of Beyonce." People kept saying they did that in front of Beyonce. People was like, "Beyonce did this in front of Beyonce."
I was more concerned that they did it in front of Venus and Serena. That movie was their family.
Yes,
it got tarnished. That's where I was like,
he apologized for that too in his like speech online. He said he wanted to apologize to the Academy.
It's a lot of people who did not get recognized because of the bull crap, but I feel like that was also on purpose.
Do you know anybody else who won anything from the Oscars?
Samuel L. Jackson, and he was overthrown, which is not cool. That was his first Oscar, Samuel L. Jackson. And Samuel L. Jackson been in the game for a minute. He deserved that.
That was his first Oscar?
Yes.
You got to remember, Zai, Black people just started getting 10 years ago. Denzel Washington and Halle Berry was the
for Monster Ball and Training Day, them corny behind movies.
And Training Day definitely wasn't his best movie.
No.
They picked the movies where their character was the worst.
Yes.
You could have got the Grammy, the Oscar for freaking Malcolm X.
Yes.
But he's done so many things.
But this was Malcolm X, though. They already ain't want Malcolm X in theaters in the first place. You remember going on a field trip in school?
Middle school, yeah. Yeah.
Only the black school districts did that.
Yeah, only black. Because even when me and Zakira and Zaire moved down here, this was when we moved to Raleigh, North Carolina. This will be our 9th year. That was the first year that they actually celebrated Black History Month. Can y'all hear me?
Wow.
Again?
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, but
they weren't even learning about Malcolm X in school. I asked Jordan a couple of years ago about something with Malcolm X, and she asked me, "What is Malcolm X?" And I was like, "Did you say what is Malcolm X?"
and what's his name? Farrakhan is completely out of the books too. No one knows his unless you know him.
That don't surprise me. But Malcolm X.
Yeah, Malcolm X right up there with Martin Luther King. So it's kind of like they run hand in hand.
It's like Prince and Michael Jackson.
But they trying to get Malcolm. They trying to get all the Black history to stop teaching Black history, like about Martin Luther King. They trying to get all of that stuff out the textbook. So
what is
that?
But we also missed Questlove that night. He got a award last night.
Who's that?
Questlove, the rapper.
Oh, okay.
Roots.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a couple of it was a lot of Blackness, and again, like I said, this was the first Black whole whole cast in a sense of an Oscar. It was all Black. The producer was Black. Everybody was Black, and then this the type of foolishness they do because this is Black people come with drama allegedly. We're entertaining.
When they brought the last Oscars was talking about the man molesting her.
What'd you say, Betty?
What you call it from DJ? Is it DJ Clue on the Breakfast Club?
What's the guy name though? The one who was raping everybody. She blacked out at the Oscars for that. I'd rather remember she was like, and he raped me.
Who?
The guy he in jail, the old man responsible for all of the movies. Heisman.
Oh, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh.
Yeah, Oscars. I'd rather that than a smack. I'd rather a smack than that.
Yeah, it's just they said his Oscars. They said they're not taking away his Oscars, so they should leave Will alone because he's done a lot and they ain't take his stuff back either. So
that's such a good point.
They said they got to take back all the pedophiles and sex traffickers before they come after Will.
Let me tell you, if they start, they don't want to go down this path.
If Chris Rock said, "I don't want him to have it," then okay. If he was pressing charges and stuff, but Chris Rock even apologized and said that he don't think it's a movie.
He did not apologize. That was fake. His team already confirmed that he did not write that. Oh. His camp. They said that was a fake apology that somebody else been ciphering on the internet. You know the internet always lying.
I thought it was on his page. It was on his
No, go check out his whole team. His team put out a statement. They said that apology from Chris Rock is not true.
So would y'all be more forgiving if somebody smacked you and your cells went up?
Yeah, heck yeah, because I would be
negative. Smack me, Will.
Negative publicity. Negative publicity is still publicity, which equals money. Period.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's gonna be interested in whatever Chris Rock's next project is or what it is.
I know people who going to his show this weekend.
Right.
You know, and the girl who
So I
paid for
want
his
to know
tickets,
the
it's
reason why,
$200 something they paid already for his tickets.
and the reason why they want, because they want to know how he going. Because I'm gonna be honest
Exactly.
with you,
Yeah.
when I saw him get smacked, I didn't watch the show live, but I wanted to see his reaction for my own purposes to learn what the hell did he do in the moment where someone smacks the shit out of you while you're doing a presentation. What do you do?
Listen, if you look at his face is like this. Like you see.
Still,
I
it
don't,
looks
I don't want to laugh at his pain, but I was thinking my physics classes was
his
popping.
pain or his gain, Betty. His pain or his gain. Okay.
Both of them. I don't want to laugh at the pain. his face was like literally like if you hit a bouncing ball. Like it was. I was like, this is gonna be a GIF. It can't not be a GIF. It's gonna be one of the best GIFs of all.
I already was looking for it. It ain't nowhere to be found. I done put in slap, Will Smith snap. Because I was trying to reply using that junk.
Girl, I'm surprised it took this long. Because the memes was there. I seen your page talk about, can I get a low can I offer underprice real estate fee?
Yo, I got so many I didn't post because I was like, I ain't gonna kill y'all on the page, but I had to put that one because you know that's how we really be feeling inside.
One thing about Black people is we know how to laugh at our pain. Like it's gonna hurt, but we're gonna make fun about
that
it.
That is sad. That's a traumatic defense mechanism. It's sad that we know how to do that, but we do.
That's why
I think it's actually something that is great that we do, to be honest.
You can laugh about it.
I think it's great to keep it moving, but I don't think it's great to harbor, like, to keep that inside of you. That's why things like this, yeah, that's why you get up and smack the shit out of somebody when those type of things happen. Or you address certain things. But
I was going to say, but what was stopping him from addressing him publicly? Why did he have to smack him? Because
I think it was like a have to. It's one of those things where you just snap. Like I
ain't gonna lie to y'all.
So you gonna snap on the biggest night of your career?
I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
You never made a bad decision that you like that was dumb.
Not on my biggest night of any of my careers that I was in, where I thought I was somebody in the moment at work.
No.
Listen, I got to fight at church, so I'm not going to judge nobody.
Right. I'm going to be transparent because I know 2 years ago I was put in a position where I was challenged. And I got challenged to the point of no return where I forgot about my business. I forgot I had to open up my business in the morning. And it was all because somebody who I cared about or who I thought that should care about me said something very negative about my children. And I snapped. I didn't come back. I was done, son. I was like, I lost it. The only difference between that and Will is that I was fortunate enough to not have a camera on me. And that you can rewind it and see it. So I think we got to not underestimate the fact that not only does these celebrities deal, and I'm not giving him an excuse, he still shouldn't hit people. But when we look at it from not a judgmental state, but from a state of he got everybody thinking his wife is a whore or she's for the streets. How many memes
that's the topic in itself because this is really pissing me off. How they
be like Jada for the streets. That's his wife.
Yeah, but those two topics are separate.
That this America
are separate, but they're not separate because
frustrating.
I'm talking about in that moment of you don't know. Maybe he had a drink, or maybe he did that thing that he did in the book when he was high for 3 days. Maybe he took an edible. You don't know what Will did on the big.
That's not true. If he took an edible, he would have been chilling. You ain't fighting nobody. Come on now.
You ain't never lied. Let me tell you,
that's what I'm just trying. When people say people who do weed and things, you're not being violent in that moment. Let's be real here.
That is true. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I get that Grey Goose in my back, it ain't no telling how I'm gonna act.
Drinks now turn you up.
Right. But if I get that Grey Goose in my back, I ain't no telling how I'm gonna act. So you ain't lying. You was not lying. But I'm just
saying, sorry, my alarm went off.
You never know what a person Like, I just feel like he was at his breaking point. He was tired of people talking about his wife. He was tired of people talking about this and that and who this, Jada that. He said, Chris, you about to get these hands.
Yeah, I could feel and see that pain through it reminded me of what, like, I don't know, just even from the Red Table Talk when he was sitting there, the amount of endurance to just keep pushing through and keep taking a higher road. Anybody is eventually going to snap. And I think this is the problem, is he should have snapped on people a long time ago, because then he wouldn't be like a pot bursting like that. He should
have him. I could probably frame.
Has built up this persona of being wholesome, and while he is a wholesome person in general, you're not, I mean, to create that narrative all the time, I think what he has to do moving forward is he needs to be human and allow people to see him being human and having human emotions. Like, I ain't tripped when Kirk Franklin cursed his child out, because we was like, you like like, you ran her cloth, but I get it.
Some fake crocodile tears. This man was in pursuit of happiness up there. I can't.
I mean,
that's why I said I could talk to the situation if I felt it was real. It's so hard for me to sympathize because I don't.
You didn't think the acceptance speech was real?
No.
That's devil's advocate though, Trina. Okay, so it's possible that you're right. It's all a hoax, and they're doing it for money, right? But
no, not necessarily money. Not
whatever the money is, it's a conspiracy, whatever it is. But
no conspiracy.
The idea that it is happening. Let's pretend that it is real.
She allowed to say conspiracy.
Conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory, right?
It's not.
Say it is. It really did happen. That it's not a conspiracy. That was the actual reaction. Now, what do you think about it then?
You said if it was real?
Yes. What do you think about?
That's what I keep saying. If it was real,
I'm asking you.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I said if it was real.
For you, it's not real. What is your response if it's real?
Yeah. What I'm saying is the first question, period, is going to be the same thing for me. Where is security? I'm sorry. You don't pay top money for security not to even show up.
No,
they didn't have to throw Will down.
Here, Trina.
I'm
right at the front row of the stage.
That's not what I'm talking about, Katrina. I'm talking about Will's breaking point. I'm talking about Will, the possibility that really Will was at his breaking point. Can you see somebody getting to a breaking point and making a bad decision like that?
Possibly, but I just don't believe it. I mean, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to think on the biggest night of your life. You've been waiting. You've been begging for this Oscar award. This is all you've been working for, because again, we don't want to work for the white people, but we need their award, right? You need their award, because why aren't you fine with your BET award or your Soul Train award, whatever they're going to give you? We got to prove ourselves to the Oscars, right? So you do all of this work to blow your legacy after 3 decades. Man, come on. You get whatever you're going to get at that point, and you have to be okay with your reaction. Because me personally, I don't put hands on people unless I have to. And so me personally, I don't feel it was, if he really, really felt disrespected, what was stopping him from saying what he needed to say from the audience? Or let alone, you can't say what you need to say from the audience, but you're going to go up there and make a fool of yourself on the stage to be a meme now for eternity. Like, you got to make it make sense. You're not that embarrassing.
But that's coming from a place of common sense. I'm talking about from a place of emotion where you're logic.
No, I've been in those situations of emotion, Betty, crazy ones. I don't act like that.
I think Will logically knows it was dumb. I don't think that I think he knew that right away. That's why he got on stage and apologized. And I think that's why he was crying. It's because he was emotional and disappointed in himself. But when you are emotional, you make bad decisions. And I have certainly busted a nose responding in emotion. And
Did you do that at your corporate table though?
Huh?
You did it at your corporate table or on your personal time?
No, my point is, even at a corporate table, I think I'm capable if I'm pushed far enough. It'd be harder.
I don't put hands on anybody that don't put hands on me. I'll definitely let you have it with my words, but I'm not gonna put my hands on you.
I think that people who you care about, they can trigger you faster than people you don't care about. And my colleagues are not going to trigger me because we're not that close. but somebody who and I don't know the dynamic of Will and
So
Chris'
you'll put your
relationship.
hands on somebody you love more than a stranger?
More than like
No,
I
with
probably
someone,
would, because they you expect more. Like it's kind of like you don't expect your, like it's the injury is so much deeper when somebody you love hurts you.
Yeah, I'll put my hands on a stranger first before my loved one. I'm gonna think twice with my loved ones.
Yeah.
no, I
And
think
think
it's
twice. But what I'm saying is, a stranger is not going to trigger me
right.
nearly
A
as
stranger, that's why
as a
betrayal
loved
hurts.
one will.
Yeah,
And I'm not
I
talking
agree.
about a loved one who didn't do anything to me. I'm talking about a loved one who really violated me.
Right,
That
and I
I've
think
had that
that's
done.
why.
I've had that done.
Yeah,
yeah.
like I think it's never painful when a stranger. I think it's easier to take critiques and criticism from people you don't know, right?
Yes.
But if like I think Chris
Who
and
are
him must
you?
right.
Who are you?
Who are you, darling? Like who are you? But when it's somebody, that's why betrayal hurts all the time. It hurts because it always comes from somebody who you
Crimes
love.
it's not for
So with
crimes of passion, it's for love.
for love, right? You get, so I could see how if Chris Rock is considered a friend, how devastating that could be. Like, you too, nigga? Oh, you gonna get these hands, bitch, and you think. And that's kind of how he was in the book. In his book,
But if
he
they
talked.
friends, you gonna go just hook off with him. Y'all both got kids. Your kids are older. You don't care about
I'm
Chris
not
Rock
saying
kids.
that.
Yo,
Again, I'm not
like
saying, I don't know what
it
was
just doesn't
going
add
through.
up. I'm sorry. It just two professionals. It just doesn't add up. There's nothing about it that's believable to me. I mean, I know this stuff happens in real life, but I watch that live. I watch the retakes over and over again.
Show of hands if you ever been in a fight with a friend.
Me.
Okay. I know your hand is raised. Okay.
Me. Betty was my first fight when
Y'all
I moved to
can't see Trina's
Plainfield.
face, but I know her hand is raised. So I'm gonna leave it there. We've all been in fight with a friend before, okay? So
I've been in a fight with a couple of my
Betty was
friends.
my first fight.
yes.
That is too funny. So we're getting close to the hour point. What about Denzel Washington? He made press. He walked
Thanks,
up to.
Charles Billingsley, for breaking us up. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to break y'all up. Well,
No,
somebody should have broke y'all up when y'all was fighting.
I said thanks, Charles Billingsley, for breaking us up. He's the
Yes.
one breaking our fight
Oh,
up.
Yes. And this is my best friend. Okay. So when I'm trying to bring Trina back to remind her, yes, you can fight somebody you care about and love. Okay. There.
over the dumbest stuff too, and then dap it
Betty,
up just
I
like
ain't
how they
smacked you
do.
silly in front of the class. You ain't smacked me silly in front of the class. We was in the backyard in our private time. Girl, bye. Thankfully, we had a person on standby to break us up. Because we probably would have worked it out ourselves.
We would have, because who was going to jump double dutch with us the next day?
I can't tell you how many times I done had a fight with especially my family over like dumb stuff. Especially if you talk about my mother, oh, we gonna fight.
Yeah.
We gonna fight.
Betty was ripping me in the snow, though. I kept falling in the snow. I was like, take it to the black top. Take it to the black top. Got on that black top.
Girl, she sat on me. I was like, Charles, get her out of me.
She was getting me in that snow. I kept falling.
We are little and clumsy. Oh, good times, y'all.
But
This
it's
is what
just,
I hope happens. I hope that Chris and Will sincerely reconcile,
they
because
was partying.
as Jay-Z said, nobody wins when a family feuds. It's good for the culture, and I hope they do it in such a way that actually moves us further forward. Like I think that this situation has the opportunity to open up so many types of conversations about men's mental health, conversation about bullying, conversations about how Black women are treated, conversations about friendships, about forgiveness, about like consequences, you know what I mean? There's so many conversations that can be opened up by this interaction. And I think that for Will, what he's going to have to do is take the responsible approach and address every one of those things, because he's got to do the damage control. I think Chris will be able to recover from this by doing good jokes about how much extra money he made and how, thank you, Will. Thank you for made extra $200,000.
You stupid. You're stupid.
His signature.
Well, I wonder how much Pfizer paid them for this skit.
I really love what Denzel said to him though. She get on my nerves.
They said they
I
was the
love
biggest
how
sponsors.
I love how Denzel went up to Will after and told him, you know, a word of, you know, word of wisdom that when you at your highest point is when the devil start knocking. He start coming harder at you. All the thoughts, all the demons, all those things that come out of you when, like you said, in the moment of your best time ever. Even Dave Chappelle kind of had a moment like that too. It's just that he didn't smack nobody, but at his highest point in his career, he left Comedy Central.
He disappeared because they was trying to take down his thing. And that's another thing that I'm like, every couple of years there's a breakdown of a black man. One of the bigger celebrities, like breaking down their legacy, breaking down. They did it to MJ, they did it to Prince. You know, some people, they did it to Bill Cosby. They feel, you know, they even though they feel R. Kelly is warranted, he still falls in those things. They're stripping legacies, and people don't.
Contributing to Will Smith's legacy being short, because I think we were doing it to him before this event. I think the situation with his marriage, the way that he's being bullied for doing, Will Smith didn't do nothing in the situation with his wife. And the way that he was being attacked for something his wife chose to do, like this is one of those moments where you ever hear black people say, I got bullied more, I had more trauma from black friends than my white friends. I dealt with racism more and inside my circle than outside my circle. Is I mean, it's that crab mentality. We love to love on you on your way up, but when you reach there, we can't wait to drag your ass back down.
Exactly.
Right.
Bill and Jada, they were too high, and not too high for me, but you know, too high for the culture, and they were just being dragged for being successful. We see it happen to every single black person who reaches a certain level of success. We aid in their drag.
Yeah, I agree with that. Leave it up to us. The hyenas will take them down. That's just kind of how it happens. It's like a bunch of hyenas stripping you down, busting you down to the knee.
Like the Gabrielle thing. She's winning championships, and we talking about hair.
Mm-hmm.
Or if someone's doing well, we're saying this, and we give an excuse to why they're doing well. Like Oprah has a cult. Beyonce is Illuminati. You know.
I mean, why they are?
I don't believe this lady. Just like you said, y'all haters funny with that Illuminati mess, but you know.
Well, they're gonna say that because they gotta throw you off again. Will be called
I don't
conspiracy.
believe that because I feel like it's the same thing. Even
yes,
right now, it's the same
so
thing.
You don't believe that these elites are part of their own private organizations?
I think that it's stupid for us, especially as black people, to put our black people in categories of elitists when we don't do that for white people. We don't say that even about people like.
But they are. All of those people are a part of it. Clive Davis, when Whitney died, you didn't. All of the rituals that took on, they have their own organizations. They have their own symbols. What do you think those symbols mean?
But you know,
but I think that's that adds to the narrative of bringing black people down. That's the same thing. It's the same way. The same exact way.
Well, there's some black people who don't want no parts of it. Look at Jasmine Sullivan. She never made it because she wouldn't do certain things. Now she's back.
Beyonce, but that's because of who controls the music and the industry. But I'm saying that if I am a person who is saying that, oh, it's tearing this down, we're tearing Will down, it's the same thing. It's giving an excuse to why this person is successful versus that they fucking work hard, that they put in the effort, they put in that work, but no, it's because they in a group. No, I think that they are successful because they do what they're supposed to do on a daily basis and use their 24 hours in a fruitful, successful way. Every single one of them can't be because they're part of an Illuminati. I think that that's taken.
But this whole world is about networking, and there's a network. You don't have to have.
I think that's the same, and we can agree to disagree. I think it's the same.
Yeah, I mean, we just talking on our views.
Yeah, I think that it's the same way that you tear down the black man with allegations and Will smacking the shit out of somebody. It's the same thing. It's just a different form. It's just a more creative way to tear down that person.
It's almost like when Black people are really good at some things, and the microaggressions we've had to deal with culturally is that white people will excuse it. Oh, well, like in sports, because they have big bones, right? So it diminishes the effort that went into the athlete. And I feel like every time every celebrity gets to a certain every freaking one of them, we go Illuminati. We'll never give anybody.
Never just say good job. You actually put in that work.
And that's diminishing. That means
there's actually things they do publicly. But
why would I ever strive to reach a certain level of success when only thing that's going to happen is eventually Trina going to think I'm part of the Illuminati?
Yeah,
that's at the end of the day, that's just your view. Nobody really is seeing why I have that view. If you walking around with an all-seeing eye and certain triangles, and that's what you're getting into, the Masonic stuff. I mean, the stuff is not here just for no reason. So the facts are there.
I've had somebody say the same thing to me, and I always wear the eye symbol. I always wear the third eye symbol. Sometimes you'll catch me with other things, and I've heard.
Do you know what it means, though?
Yeah, the one that I wear it's the third eye is for protection, and even if you wear symbolic things that have other meanings, whatever the meaning is for you is what you're going to project anyway. I mean, what you're going to attract anyway. But my thing is that
so Jay-Z line though. So why is his clothing line? I mean, we going off that, but this is just little things like why is his clothing line named after like one of his things, and I can send it to you later. What he says is after if you do one of the wickedest men in the world in history. But see, it's like don't nobody want to hear this stuff. Like when you start digging,
I don't even want to go there. I don't want to hear it.
That's what I'm saying. It's a rabbit hole that people not ready for.
I think it's the same thing. I think until Jay-Z, or if I have a personal conversation with you and you tell me you part of Illuminati or you try to recruit me in the Illuminati, I will believe it. But until then, I'm going to give you your applause and say you're successful because you put in that work. Because even you can't get into the Illuminati apparently unless you popping.
I'm about to say, not for nothing, you still got to work hard, and not for nothing.
That's not true, though. Do you know the Masons, local Masons? That's not true. Judges are in the Illuminati, lawyers, cops. It doesn't. Not everybody is a celebrity, and that's where people get it confused.
Beyonce was a part of some Illuminati, but she also could not sing, did not dance, did not work hard, did not show up on time, did not show up with excellence. She wouldn't be successful.
Right.
So we're saying
nobody's taken away from their work ethic, though.
Regardless of her membership in her work, she still deserves acknowledgement for her effort, her work, her hard work. And as Black people, she
got worshipers out here who's not giving her credit. She got a whole squad out here.
Beyonce, but let's talk about Black people in general. As Black people who reach a certain level of success, we have to stop dismissing the work that they put into getting there.
That's just like in football, right? Like I can break it down to even on a smaller level. Like we have a local football league. And the football teams that win, it's amazing the dumb shit you hear that people come up with to why they win. It's because they have too many numbers. It's because they do this. It's because it is. Not because they actually are just winning, right? It's not because they prepared to win. They come up with that they have too many people on their teams. They'll say that they girls take steroids. They'll come up with anything just to say this is why they're winning versus that they prepared. That's all. They just use the time wisely to prepare, and that's why. So it happens. It happens on all levels.
I don't listen to certain music because of the messages. If you play certain messages, there's codes in them. So it's just everybody has to do what works for them. Me personally, I could care less about the celebrities. It's just entertainment for me as far as this. Certain people that I like, but I could care less about what they're doing on their daily lives and their personal lives.
Triangles all in it. If I become wildly successful, Katrina, I am not in the Illuminati. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, you saying that for now. When you get there, we'll figure it out.
No, I'm putting this out there in advance.
When I make I have
triangles in my logo because pyramids, triangles, the number 3 are symbolic to me. I don't know nothing about the Illuminati. And should I be wildly successful? I still won't because I ain't in it. So I'm throwing this out there for y'all now. My logo was triangles when I was a nobody. Okay?
And triangle is one of the strongest.
It is the strongest shape.
The strongest shape. It's just like the egg. So that's why people use it because it's the strongest shape. It cannot be destroyed. the shape of a pyramid. So anyway, that's what we wanted to come up for a quick pop up about Will Smith. That's what we talked about today. Smacking the dog shit out of Chris Rock.
Our energy, we a good dynamic.
Yes. And we got into the Illuminati too. I don't know how we got there, but
because they all work together. Next.
Always get a little sprinkle of conspiracy. That's why we love it. You gotta have a Star Jones and on a good show.
Y'all conspiracy.
You gotta have one.
Gotta have one, and that's Trina. Y'all can't.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just drop facts.
Well, I definitely
since we don't have editing.
I'm definitely excited though about seeing the future of Will. I love Will. I don't think he's going to get canceled. I think the only way that would happen is
he's going to get paused.
He's going to get paused.
I mean, at the end of the day, whether the man got canceled or not, like they have enough money to start their own, do their things. Like he can align with Tyler Perry. He can. It's so many avenues he got. So whether he's canceled in the big world, all he's gonna do is take a moment and rebuild himself up. But I can't stand Gail. That's how I know this stuff be a setup. Because Gail is always on the opposite side. I think she was the one interviewing. Who was she? Jim Carrey?
She interviewed Jim Carrey. Yeah, she said
they're always on some bull crap. I don't know. I just don't like her or Oprah. Ugh.
She said that he happened to already be scheduled to be interviewed. She was like, just so you know, it wasn't like that he was coming in. She was trying to I think she was trying to protect Jim from looking like he was an opportunist and came on the show just to talk about this.
Yeah, because they trashing Jim.
He was on there to promote something he has that's about to come out. And it was like, but we still asked them the question because y'all were being opportunists. They could have let Jim Carrey just talk about his thing.
Exactly.
But y'all decided to be opportunists.
And now he done went viral and he being trashed.
Right. Now you getting everybody dragged.
Everybody going down in one big boat together. And they said Jim Carrey thirsty because now he trying to get light off of this because he ain't been in nothing for a while. But like you just said, he got something coming out. So
right, first of all, Jim Carrey is.
I'm gonna tell you one thing: we wouldn't know Jim Carrey had something coming out if he didn't say what he just said about Will Smith.
No, I knew that because Sonic the Hedgehog come out. I've known about Sonic the Hedgehog since before the New Year came.
No, it wasn't Sonic. It was something else that he was talking about.
But she don't even know what he was talking about. She just heard his part with Will.
I can't stand that of y'all.
His interview was forgettable.
For what?
Forgettable.
Forgettable. His interview was forgettable, except for the clip where he talked about Will. And I'm gonna tell you this. What I will say is when he talked about like, oh, I would have sued, blah blah blah. I was triggered. I like Jim Carrey. I was triggered when he said I would have called the cops. There is, as a black person,
that's what they do though.
As a black person, I was like, woo. I'm sure you don't even realize how triggering that is to hear a white person talk about calling the cops. And even though I never understand why you feel like this is justified in this situation, but I was unexpectedly triggered by, you gonna do what?
We gonna kick your ass. So let me stop. We don't do
the
that.
The black the collar. Yeah, I was triggered. I was triggered a little bit. And
man, them cops wasn't doing nothing to Will, just like security. Because they wouldn't have done nothing, just like security.
What I will tell you now, Katrina, is they're gonna have security. Security.
They always had security. They just was all they knew that wasn't serious. So they're
gonna have security in the front from now on.
But what would make you think they wouldn't have security around there? Because anything could happen to those main people on the stage. You have to have security by the stage.
Cameras.
No, you have to have security by the stage.
Because cameras.
My cousin works. My cousin works
in these shots.
No, my cousin works events all the time. She works. She's a EMS. She works at the PPL. I mean, the Prudential. All of those places. She's behind the stage as EMS. security is always on the outskirts of the stage.
Bruh, you do know that somebody threw a whole shoe at President George Bush's head, and the Secret Service did not intercept that shoe.
How? It's just a crowd of people.
Security don't always be on point. They don't always move quick enough. Kanye got on stage and said, "I'm gonna let y'all finish." They thought Will Smith was about to get on there and tell a joke. They ain't see that shit coming.
They ain't do nothing to Kanye. They ain't do, because all of this stuff is a part. Let me shut up. I can't. It's a part of
like, speaking of Kanye, another.
No, I'm just like, it's a part of their rituals.
We're gonna be back here next week with another controversy coming to a pop-up near you.
Yes.
And I do think that Kanye West is gonna kill Kim.
No.
Don't say that. Don't even put that in the universe.
Yeah, what?
So. I'm sorry.
No.
She has all the behaviors of somebody who would kill her.
We know that she don't actually mean to say like a wish.
Betty, edit that part.
There's no editing for her. His behavior is very much of somebody who is like, who moves across the street from someone that they break up with.
I mean, I've seen people do that to keep their families close. Like, that part wasn't so weird. It's how he's behaving.
That was not to keep the family close.
I mean,
I don't think Kim is acting weird. You got a whole man around your kids.
Do that. Some people live with their exes, so like
they have a man around the kids. That's so common.
I've seen
Oh
people.
no, I wouldn't
families.
be bringing no man around my kids, let alone they're not even divorced yet. Kanye to me is acting like a fool, but you could tell he's not really into them relationships he actually wishing he had Kim back. But to bring that dude Pete Davidson in, I don't know if you saw his little video, but he was talking about one of his friends' baby sucking on his finger. And he didn't want the baby to get off because it was feeling good. And he was like, ho. I would never have somebody around my kids like that. So I think she's weird.
I did not do that.
No, her thing been popping on and off the whole time. It's coming back in.
But we both was like, here. I want y'all to know we did not just take her off. But
they trying to cancel me, y'all. Sorry.
Her thing been popping on and off the whole time.
Oh yeah, no, it goes mute, so I have to leave. But I was just saying, I don't know if y'all saw that video ciphering around with Pete Davidson saying that with his friend's baby, and the baby was teething, and he was like, he got a hold of my hand, and he was like, I was like, oh, my hand. He was like, then I was like, oh, my hand. He was like, it felt like he was saying it felt good. He didn't want the baby to stop sucking his hand, and then he had to. I was like, that's some crazy. And people was like, understand, yeah, because he don't what.
No, I was about to say I don't think he's an attractive man at all. So
at all. Ugh.
I'm gonna tell you what he must have then.
You stupid, Betty. But no, Kim is a geek. Kim is a geek too. People don't realize, like, she's like, if you look at her childhood friends, she just a regular girl, like, and how she was like in the show, her friends, like, they not these people that you think they are. Their image got blown up, but outside of that, they like plain Janes, and that's what I see her with this guy. It just seemed like somebody she would have been with before her fame. Her
and OJ,
I think
she's about to relive OJ's story. Let me stop.
I think you can't underestimate a man who's funny, who has a sense of humor. It's very attractive, and that's probably part of you dealing with somebody who's toxic and crazy, and then you got somebody who make you laugh every day.
They both putting tattoos on each other. Y'all been together 5 minutes. It's weird.
Well, we know
weird.
He got
2 tattoos on him from Kim now. He got her name, and then he put my girl as a lawyer. Like, these people are doing stuff for publicity. It's weird. Although they're...
but sometimes that when you're experiencing so much chaos, I agree with Betty. It's easy to kind of go off into the sunset. You know, it could be a rebound. It could be blissful. You might not even see that he looked like my desk.
You stupid.
And we know that Pete has been dealing with depression on and off. And so for him, it may be comforting for both of them. Like they may be trauma bonding at this point.
Yeah, which is weird
Yeah.
though. But she always
Yeah.
has a man like right after.
Oh yeah, she a monkey
You know,
bar relationship for sure.
it's just weird to me. She don't give herself no time to breathe, no time to. It's like
But
one dude.
that's a lot of
I'm
people.
getting a
That's not.
divorce. I'm married with him next. I'm with this guy. I'm just like, what?
I think that's very typical, though. I think I know for me, I know a lot of very like people usually jump. I know it took me time. I took time in between my relationships, but a lot of people jump. I did at one point too.
Yeah, I think most people have monkey bar relationships because being with themselves and their thoughts is uncomfortable, and it's
Yeah.
easy to be distracted and lost into the. But I think is if you, as long as you know what this is, like I think the problem with Kim is
See,
she
when you got kids, though, I'm
relationship.
sorry. It's no time for all that instability when you got kids.
Oh
I'm
Yeah,
no,
sorry.
I agree with that. You
I
cannot
like
have that.
my kids is my focus person. I'm not saying people have to do things like me. I'm just saying that when you continue to expose your kids to so many different people, it's just to me it doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah, no, you're right. I
she
agree
could
with
live
that.
her life if that's the life she want to live, but I don't see why you bring it to your children. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I remember a few years ago when I was going through a breakup and I was in a very long relationship, and that was one of the things you struggle with is like, this person knows the kid. You don't want to just, okay, this is a new person. Now this is a new person. Now it's a new person, right? And so my therapist, I remember telling me that it's very important to understand that you can have a fulfilling love life and it never includes the child. You know what I mean? Like that would mean you would have to have certain standards. Like you can't be with somebody who don't have their own place. You know what I'm saying? Or you can't be with somebody um, you know, who either wants kids or it takes time. I know I was with that person a long time. They wasn't around my kids for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Especially alone. And I think that was some probably trauma too, but it was good trauma, I guess, because of that. But
Yeah, you got to protect the babies on all accords. Period.
yeah, but not judging it though, because I understand, especially when you got somebody hawking you down, it's just more convenient.
hmm
Um, even at their age, my kids' age are older now. I still struggle with, when do you let them see them? When do you don't?
I've only introduced my child to one person, post her father, and because for all the same reasons, just being protective, not one. And I may go through the roller coaster of not sure if this relationship work and this relationship don't work, but I don't need that for her. She don't need to have the instability of
Exactly.
in the relationship. So I have to think a lot about you.
Exactly.
Right, and it
Ooh,
teaches them too. It teaches them how to kind of date.
That's what I'm
Kids,
saying. When they see you acting a fool all over the place, you only showing them what to do next. So show them some stability, even if you don't show the person to them, you can still show stability. And
but to be
then
fair, the only person she's dated since Kanye, so it's not like they seen a bunch of dudes around. They seen this.
yeah, and they
no,
have
I
Kanye
understand that,
too.
but he still came home mad fast.
Yeah, that is a fact.
And they weren't even divorced. I think they divorced now.
They
No,
just
they were divorced because she got divorced,
No, she wasn't divorced when she started
or not
dating Pete.
divorced, but
separated
legally single or
a
something.
year ago. They divorced a year ago. I mean, they separated a year ago, and then they divorced in
Like a
February.
couple of months. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because like in Virginia, not all states are like this, and I'm just
North
assuming
Carolina too.
that in California might be like this. You have to be, if you have kids, you have to be separated for a year before you can finalize a divorce.
Yeah, that's North Carolina too. You have to be separated for a year. I don't know why I know that, and I ain't never been married. But anyway,
You plan to get escape route already, Zai?
no, 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 no. I've been with somebody who was in the in between, and I wanted to make sure that was a true statement that you had to be separated for a year, and it was true that you do have to be separated for a year. But no, I'm not planning my escape route. I believe this next go round is probably going to be it. I'm a hopeful romantic, so I believe that it's going to be my forever person, whoever you
My aunt
are.
calls me the runaway bride.
I used to call myself that. I want to give a shout out to this. I actually don't know if she's a mom.
I've been engaged more than once. One of these days, I'm gonna
What is
follow
she saying?
through.
I don't know. I want to give a shout out to the young lady who makes these. Her name is Divinity. Let me tag her real quick. Her name is
I like their knots. Are they Bantu knots? I told you I can't see.
Knots.
Right?
You
Bantu knots?
locking your hair, Zai?
Huh?
Are you locking your hair?
I don't know. I've been thinking
In
about
the
it.
picture, I was like, is Zai locking?
I'm so
The
close.
thing that I really
Together.
the thing I absolutely love about the
I just got a retwist today. I don't know if y'all can see it.
oh yes, it's cute.
I got color at it too.
I
I'll
honestly
put a picture.
Cute.
put some two strand twist in my hair, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I was loving it because it was like it was always was done. I'm going to do it again on Friday, but I want to dye it one more time because this is not my color. But this is I had to do it 3 times to get to this. When I first dyed it, honey, it was an orange.
That's how I started mine, with 2-strand twists. Me and the girls, we started our locks with 2-strand twists.
Nice.
I can just go right into twist if I don't cut my hair off, Trina, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of girls on my
Betty, that's what you should do. Mine was really short when I started too. Like it just grew like weeds.
Yeah. It's a lot of girls on our team. One girl who I know who even had she had permed hair and she just kept cutting the ends, and then she finally went but I want to give a shout out to Divinity Brown. She's out here in Raleigh, North Carolina. She makes these things. They're like headbands. And her name, if you go to her page, I just tagged her, and she makes these for the teams. I be seeing even some of the coaches wear them. I got mine a couple months ago. I want to get another one made specifically with mine, but they're really cool. So if my hair is like this, I can squeeze it back, and different colors. And I'm send her one to get with my brand colors, and you push it back. But then if your hair is big, you go like this, and then it could just fit right on. It's really dope. So I just want to give her a shout out. She really doing her thing. Like if you go to her page, she be hustling. So shout out to Divinity Brown. Her name is Crowned. Like when you get the thing, it's like you've just been crowned. Yeah, it's really cute. So shout out to Divinity Brown. I just tagged her, and I don't know if you can see the comment. That was me. I hate that it says Facebook user. That is so dumb. Anyway, send me her info. Yes, her website. I don't know where her website is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not gonna pop up. I will tag everything in there. I did tag her name in the group, but I think it's called Crowned by. Don't quote me on that. I'll just tag it. I'll just tag it. But anywho, we've been here for almost an hour and a half talking about.
That's what I was asking for. Sorry, I was in the back room. I didn't know if you could hear me.
I couldn't hear you, but
I was asking for the website. But you said you put her in the you tagged her in the.
I tagged her. I don't know her exact like where you order. She's in my phone actually.
Just text it to me in our group, and I'll look at it. Does she have Instagram?
Yeah, she has an Instagram too, and I'll make sure she has the information there.
Okay.
But we've been here
with our pop up.
Yes, I miss you, girls.
Miss you too.
This was nice.
Y'all with some more pop ups. I think we're gonna start back Thursdays live. So we keep us posted. We will post the information. And this was a great conversation, ladies.
Yes,
staged.
If y'all see Will Smith, tell him that he can smack me any day, so that I can get my increase in my sales like Chris Rock.
And as I told y'all, if you're gonna get mad, use it for good. Okay, take that energy.
Come on, Trina.
And use that same energy on your bill collector.
Wait, I gotta get this
1, 2, 3.
Wait.
Stage.
Get the picture first. Come on, Trina. Let me get this picture. Hold on. Okay, y'all ready? What's the video? Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
Stage.
Listen, y'all use that energy to renegotiate y'all bills. It's March Money Madness. Use your anger
for yourself into discipline. Okay. Well, it's been a great episode. We love y'all. Stay tuned.
Realtor Boss Trina.
I forget how we end the show. It's been so long.
Realtor Boss Trina.
That's right.
Business
Financial
boss,
boss from Young Rich and Rooted.
business bossy from Zakira Global.
Hey, love you,
And
ladies.
this is the real life.
Life of the Mom Podcast.
Goodbye.
Bye. Have a good night, ladies.
Good
Good
night.
night.